Hello everyone, and welcome to the last part of my horror series for the month of October. So I wanted to read this book by Ali Hazelwood because the second part of this book, which is Mate, recently came out this month. So I have not read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I've been on a bit of an Ali Hazelwood kick this year. I've read two books by her prior to this. I loved Love Theoretically. The premise of Bride follows a vampire and an alpha werewolf. The two of them end up in this forced marriage together to kind of bring peace between their two species. Misery's motivation is the fact that her foster sister, Serena, disappeared, and she thinks that Lo is the only person who may know where her whereabouts is. I think Ali Hazelwood is a good romance writer. Like, as a baseline, I think if you pick up any of her books, you would really enjoy something that you're going to read. I found Bride to be entertaining. I found it to be a fun read, but I was a bit disappointed by the execution. Plot felt a little bit weak in terms of execution. I felt like there was just a lot going on and it didn't just seem very cohesive. And I do think it impacted how the relationship built between Misery and Lo. Like, so far from the books that I've read, I've always felt chemistry between the two main protagonists, but I didn't really feel as much chemistry in this particular book. However, I do think that she writes very lovable characters. I think her incorporation of supernatural elements in the modern contemporary world was really cool. It reminded me a little bit of True Blood. I wanted to pick one in the romance genre that's a supernatural romance to talk about. I do think if you would like to read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, you may find it entertaining, and I can see how some people can really enjoy this, but for me personally, it was just the execution of the plot that fell a little flat. However, I do have another book that I would like to recommend to kind of put together the end of my horror series, which is a book that I consider a gothic romance and one that I absolutely loved and one that I read earlier this year. That book in question is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Now, Isabel Cañas, I've read this. I've read The Vampires of El Norte. She is absolutely one of my favorite authors in sort of like the gothic writing genre, having more in-depth review about it. But the overall story follows our main protagonist, Beatrice, who lives in this hacienda that is incredibly haunted. And she's trying to unravel the mysteries behind this haunting. And the only person who can really help her is a priest. The dynamics and the storytelling of this book is done so well. This book delivers not only on the side of horror, but also on the side of romance itself. And with that being said, that concludes my 8 episodes of my little horror series. This is my absolute favorite genre. I love reading horror in any capacity. I really enjoy it. And there's just so many roots to this genre that I absolutely love.